Dispersal of seeds and fruits. Dispersal carries the seeds and fruits away from the parent plant to prevent overcrowding and also to help colonization of new territory. Seeds and fruits are dispersed by wind, animals, water, as these are the main agents of dispersal. And in some plants, there is what is known as self-dispersal. So in this chapter, we look at a number of dispersal agents or structural adaptations that adapt the seed or the fruit to a particular agent, starting with wind dispersal. The fruits or seeds that are dispersed by winds have the following characteristic features. Fruits, for example, may develop wings or parachutes, like in the sunkers. These are tuft of hairs. Also in the dandelion, there are tufts of hair that increase the surface area to enable flotation in the wind. Fruits like the sycamore plants have broad wing-like structures. There is a sunker's fruit photograph. You can see the hairs that greatly increase the surface area for easy flotation. Seeds of jacaranda also have a peppery extension. This one, that increase the surface area for flotation, just like the fruits of the tipu plant also have wings to increase flotation. Now, in some plants that are adapted to wind dispersal, the fruits are borne on long stalks. Long, slender stalks, such that as the plant sways in the wind, for example, like in the poppy plant, seeds are thrown out through openings at the top. So there is a long stalk that supports the fruit, and the seeds are shaken out of the fruit as the wind sways the fruit from side to side. And in most cases, such seeds that are scattered in this manner are tiny. Once they are thrown out, they can easily float in the air and be carried in the wind. In seeds and fruits that are dispersed by the plant itself, the method known as self-dispersal mechanism or explosive mechanism, the fruit is structured in such a way that the pod, for example, in the legumes, has certain lines of weaknesses known as sutures. So as the pod dries, there's a tension that is caused in the fruit wall. This tension makes the fruit walls to suddenly split open along these lines of weaknesses into two halves. The two halves then tend to curl. Outwards, thereby scattering the seeds. So this happens in the beans and pea pods. See in this photograph here, the wall has curled because of the tension that was built up as a result of drying, and then in the process the seeds are thrown out. In this illustration here, the seeds are thrown out. That way, the plant disperses the seeds. So this method is known as self-dispersal mechanism or explosive mechanism. Not explosion mechanism, it is explosive mechanism. Then there are those seeds and plants that are, and fruits rather, that are dispersed by water. For example, in the coconut. Such fruits, for example, in the coconut, have a fibrous air-filled mesocarp that increase buoyancy so that the fruit can float in water. Here is a coconut fruit. Within the fruit itself, the mesocarp is fibrous and is air-filled to increase buoyancy, and also to prevent this fruit from soaking in water and sinking. The exocarp is waterproof, like in the coconut. Now, in some plants, like the lotus plant, within the lotus fruit also, there are large air spaces to enable easy flotation. And even the seeds themselves have air spaces inside, with the seed coat being waterproof to prevent them from soaking in water and sinking. Then lastly, we have those seeds and fruits that are dispersed by animals. These fruits may have hooks that help the fruit to adhere to the body of the animal. So there's this spiky surface that sticks to the fur or claws of animals that pass by, and as animals move from place to place, they carry them along. Like on this dog has numerous blackjack fruits attached to it, because the structure of the blackjack fruit, it is a cypsela type of fruit, such that it has hooks. The style persists and forms hooks. It is these hooks that adhere to or attach the fruit onto the body of animals. So like in this case, we have the individual, there's so many blackjack fruits that have stuck onto the fur of the dog. And as the dog moves along, eventually they're going to fall off, and thereby dispersing the fruit that contains the seed inside. In addition to the hooks that may be present, fruits are usually brightly colored and succulent to attract the animals that feed on them as a source of food. So these brightly colored berries attract the birds that feed on the fruit. Now, usually the seeds within are resistant to digestion, either because they may be slimy or they have tough seed coats that cannot be broken down by digestive enzymes. So even in fruits such as the lemon, you can see they're brightly colored. They have a scent, very distinct. They're succulent. All these act as attractants to the animals that feed on the fruits and then throw away the seeds. Now, the seeds of lemon, alongside the other citrus fruits, are resistant to digestion because they have a seed coat that is tough, and this protects them from the digestive enzymes, such that should the seeds be swallowed, because of their resistant seed coat, they pass through the alimentary canal unscathed, and when they are dropped together with the feces, then they can germinate if the conditions are favorable.